مرحبا دنباش حوالان ایرو epidemiology بس که medical epidemiology. So the book that I have used for these lectures, the name of this book I have written here, Basic Epidemiology of the Ronita and the Wrigley-Hall T. Shellström from Sweden, and another book, the epidemiology terminology, that then I give you the address of this, and some other sources. So we begin with the epidemiology terminology. What is epidemiology? Epidemiology. Epi means lesser, over something. Epi. Dem means people, over people. Logi means to understand, to فهم کردن گلان، گشتی گلان جیواک انسان مرو. Epidemiology is coming from the Greek word epi, upon, demos, people, gal, and logos, study. فهم کردن people, galan, سر epi. So I hope that I have translated from Google. افتگیج به ژیان یونانی و تت بی درکفتن اپی لسر میرو و لکولین. What is the role of epidemiology? It's very important. Now, epidemiology is the main science the main science of the human being, main science of the living in the. So in medical especially, so it's very important, especially now with the COVID-19, corona, so it is the role and importance of the epidemiology so appears for all of the peoples in the world, that the meaning, the role, the importance. So it's a very, very great word. The role of epidemiology is the main role, is the essential role of epidemiology, the main role of the. So improve the health of population. Rola بنگهین اپیدمیولوژی باشتر کردن تندرستی گلان. The purpose of this course of epidemiology that we are talking with you, to you, is some important points that I have written here to explain, to describe for the principles of the disease, causations. سبب نفخوشی چیه؟ Encourage the application of epidemiology to prevent disease and promotion of health. Try to to use epidemiology to prevent the diseases, to prepare the member of the health-related professions. For example, the people that working in medicine, in navkhoshkhane, in makhbar, everybody that working in this field, so to be careful and to how to promote the health of the community, ensure that health resources are used to the best possible effect. And so we have resources, we have a lot of resources. For example, sarchishme, like sarkani, that we use all these to high the health of the population, community. Encourage good clinical practice. Try to support parastani, the bash parastani of the concept of the clinical epidemiology. So this is very important. I hope you, as the staffs of the field of the health organization, know about the purposes, هدف epidemiology, and this course. What are the main goals of the agents agent here in epidemiology is a factor. For example, a bacteria or a chemical, kimyavi, madde kimyavi, that, for example, radiation, ash'ah, that can affect the health of the population. For example, or absence, the presence of some factors or the absence of some factors. If we have no enough food, enough vitamins, so we can develop a disease. We can be sick of the lacking of these materials. So the absence of some essential factors or presence of some factors. The agents, these are the agents. Vitamins, agents. Bacteria, agents. Microorganism. Microorganism means the organism that we can only see them under microscope. Macro. We have macro means mazen, micro, bochuk. We have determinants. Determinants, any factor or event, hadise, or any characteristics, khususiyat, or other definable entity or unit that brings about change in health condition. Everything that affect our health condition are determinant. فاکتوری چی بایر تایبتمندیه و ترجمه نزنم باش بو باش نبو دارم باش بو. So if we define the epidemiology as a very brief definition, so the study, distribution of determinants, factors that affect our health. So in a specified population, application to prevent and control the diseases, to prevent a disease. To, for example, if we see that some children زاروك فلج زاروكه لا جیواکی مثلا چی بود زیده بود, we think that maybe something wrong in this community. If we have the poliomyelitis, for example, some children have some diseases that have some problem, so we must think about what is the problem, to find the problem, to find why it come to the community, how we can control it, how we can prevent it. Prevent means to protect ourselves, to not come to us. Prevent for example, enemy, virus, bacteria from here. If for example, in our community, in a school, the students, for example, have most of, for example, from 10, 20 of 30 or 40 of the students show a disease, for example, diarrhea, ishal, diarrhea. So maybe this is an epidemic, an epidemic. So we must find the source, the main source, why they have diarrhea. What is the sabab? So I try to describe these terms. So term explanation. So the study includes surveillance. Surveillance means nazarat, observation, to see. Hypothesis testing. Hypothesis فرض که چیه مشکل چیه. Analytic, to analyze, تحلیل, analyze. Distribution means at which time, which persons, women, children, men, for example, those that working in some for example, in hospital, those that working in some field, in factory. So we must find which group of the people are coming to be sick or are sick, so are affected. So determinants, factors that a biological factor, a chemical factor, physical factor, social factor, cultural, economical, genetic, behavioral, or infection agents, for example, that cause the diseases. So health-related states and events, for example, refers to diseases, causes of death. For example, why suddenly a group of people dying or children dying each after every, for example, in a duration 1 month, we have a lot of death among some group of people. So if they use tobacco, cigar, so, or they are using some maybe some affected by or toxin, something that it is not normal. So Khandina Zanko, for example, control Belavkirina, Diarker, Peshvabirin, Parastin, Novekirin. So this talk about all this here. I hope to you read and more articles. So the study. So we study a community مطالعه. What happened in this community? نظارت، مشاهده، observation و چه خوب بین چه hypothesis testing, analyze. So I translated a little by help of the computer. It means this. So in epidemiology, first study, then distribution. I mentioned distribution times, persons, place, and which group of the people are affected. Determinants, the factors that cause the disease, and we think that is the determinants. For example, coronavirus. For example, some polluted water, some chemicals, something that cause the disease. And I have written a little in Kermanji. I hope it's correct, or may help you some words to understand. Beloved Kirina, distribution. Dam, kes, چی و چینن کسن کو باندور بونه هیل برین نره ببوره فاکتورن کو باندوری ل تندرستی دکن بیولوژی، کیمیاوی، فیزیکی، جیواکی، چندی، آبوری، ژنتیک و بهره نازانم. So, in epidemiology, we talk about health-related states and events. State اینجا دولت معنی نینه، نه دولت. State یعنی موقعیت، یعنی for example, the situation and events یعنی حادثه. So disease, causes of death. So what's the سبب مرن چیه؟ behavior، روش یا روش کس such as use of tobacco، cigar، positive health states، positive health situation، reaction to preventive regimes. A regime means to have a special pargar and provision and use of health services. Special population. So we search about which special population are affected. For example, some occupational group, those that working with naft, with oil. So with oil, with for example, some asbestosis. So and different things. Those that working in radiology without have a protection cloth, so may have أشعة cause the سرطان, cancer. So it's very important. The occupation yani means the شغل. My occupation is to, for example, work with patients. My occupation is working. My occupation is driving chauffeur, for example. So all these group have some sensitivity to some diseases, but some factors, some determinants. So it's important. Application to prevention and control the aims of the public health. Public health یعنی سلامت بهداشت گلان. So aims یعنی هدف، آمانج ایوا که کنترل بکن، پاراستن، prevention to prevent، to promote to high، protect پاراستن، and restore health to پشتیبانی بکن سلامتی به تندرستی. Application and prevention and control the aims of public health to promote, protect and restore health. These are all of these are the آمانج هدف یا the goal of the epidemiology. So if you read this, I hope to help you to understand my language a little. So in here, from here, so this is in Kurdish. I hope that. So when we talk about epidemiology, so we have some terms to remember. One is an epidemic. What is epidemic? Means epi لسر demos گل یعنی ناخوشیه که for example not a person, not a few person, a lot of people from a community, for example to be sick in a time, a special time, by a special disease. So a special disease, definite time, and a group of the people together, or they each after each one after other, one after other in a duration, for example, have diarrhea. So it is epidemic. Not one person, not 2-3% of the hundreds. So we have sporadic, endemic, and pandemic. Epidemic, sporadic, endemic, pandemic. So we try to explain each of them. So the occurrence of more cases of disease than expected in a given area or among a specific group of people over a particular period of time. So it means more cases of disease in a given area, for example in Ashur, for example, area, among a specific group, a group, not all of the, a special group, for example children, over a particular time, for example in summer, or in winter. So this is epidemic. Epidemic can be in a school, in a community, in a village, in a country, in an area, so in an area. Sporadic means 1 or 2 away from one person's have, for example, showed some disease. So endemic means I try to, endemic is a kind of disease that is endemy yani boomi, yani means that, for example, cholera in India, for a long time, maybe for 100 years ago, we have in one area and this disease, but it is not spreading to others. There in a limited area, a lot of people have this disease, endemic, in this country. we have pandemic. Pandemic means pan. Pan means universe, world, not a country, not two countries. All of the world, like coronavirus, from China to the other countries, and from America, Africa, Europe, Asia, everywhere. So this is pandemic. Pan means, for example, pan-Turkism. Turkey will try to have a to spread all of the, or pan means means the universalism of some happening. Maybe a empire, maybe a religion, maybe ideology, maybe a disease, bacteria or virus. So pandemic, like COVID-19. So influenza. So we are going to next day we talk about epidemiology and public health. So I think so. Try to I explain this part also, and then we leave it for next course. So this is epidemiology and public health. So this is the both together related to each other. Public health means the تندرستی گلان and epidemiology are together. These are related to each other. The collective action to improve population, to improve, to high the تندرستی گلان. So it means that this تندرستی گل زیاده دیگه. Epidemiology. Epidemiology, one of the tools for improving public health. زیاده دیگه تندرستی گلان. So باشترکرین تندرستی گشتی. Early studies in epidemiology were concerned with the causes. Causes, etiology. Etiology means to find and finding and study the cause of the علت سبب نوخوشی چیه؟ etiology. It means etiology. Communicable diseases, yani the diseases that communicable, that from one person to another person and to other, like influenza, like cholera, like the COVID-19, for example. The etiology of the COVID is a virus. The name of the virus is coronavirus 19. So this is etiology. So the causes, etiology is the virus of corona disease. So communicable so it spreads from person to person, from so to the community. In this in this course we talk about the epidemiology and the تندرستی گله. So as I mentioned from the beginning of the course, what is epidemiology? The meaning of epidemiology, the importance of epidemiology. Epidemiology is a fundamental science. Fundamental means bunyad, the pay, the asas. Asas means the گوره‌ترین bunyad, the foundation of the تندرستی گل. So this is importance of the epidemiology. So epidemiology has made major contributions to improving population health. So I mentioned that is very important for the تندرستی گل. The fundamental role of epidemiology is to improve the health that I mentioned before to you. basic role اساس base اساس بنیاد شالوده the basic the foundation basic role of the epidemiology is the, as I have written in Kermanji, it's I hope بنگهین basic بنگهین basic epidemiology role باشتر کرینا تندرستی گلان. So next time we talked about the historical context of the epidemiology. Have a nice time. And I hope you've been very تندرست بو حالا ساق و سلامت به حوالا. We continue next day epidemiology.